Good morning, student. Today we are going to see the topic of carbohydrate. Now, what is carbohydrate? Carbohydrate are defined as polyhydroxyaldehyde or a ketone or a compound which yield these compounds on hydrolysis and contain at least one asymmetric carbon atom. It is important. Now, what is unsymmetric carbon atom? So a carbon atom which 4 valency are satisfied by 4 different group. Now majorly carbohydrate are classified into 3 category. First one is monosaccharide, second one is oligosaccharide, third one is polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are simple carbohydrate, and these carbohydrate molecules cannot be further hydrolyzed, means it is the simple sugar molecule, simple compounds. Monosaccharides are further classified into aldoses and ketoses. Aldoses means those carbohydrate molecule which contain aldehydic group, that is CHO, and ketoses means those carbohydrate molecules which contain ketone functionality, that is C double bond O. Aldoses are further classified into aldotetroses, aldopentoses, and aldohexoses. This classification is based on how much number of carbon atom present in your sugar. So aldotetroses means it have 4 carbon atom with aldehydic group. So example is erythrase, threose. Aldopentoses examples are arabinose, xylose, ribose. Aldohexoses example is glucose, mannose, and galactose. In similar way, ketoses is also classified into ketotetrose. Example is erythroloses. Ketopentoses example is ribulose and xylulose. Ketohexoses example is fructose and sorbose. Now what is the meaning of oligosaccharides? Oligosaccharides are carbohydrate which can be on hydrolysis, which can be hydrolyzed into few monosaccharide. Generally the number of monosaccharide units which are obtained on hydrolysis is from 2 to 9. Oligosaccharides are divided into disaccharides, means disaccharides are those carbohydrate molecule which on hydrolysis give us 2 carbohydrate unit. So example is sucrose, maltose. Trisaccharides means those sugar molecules, those carbohydrate molecule which on hydrolysis give us 3 monosaccharides molecule. Example is raffinose. And tetrasaccharides example is styrose, statiose. Now polysaccharides are those carbohydrate which are hydrolyzed to many of monosaccharides unit. The word many stands for 100 or even 1000 of monosaccharides unit. Generally polysaccharides are divided into homosaccharides and heterosaccharides. Examples of homosaccharides is starch and cellulose. Example of heterosaccharides is insulin. Beside that, these 3 major class, there is also a 4th class, that is known as glycosides. These are the kind of oligosaccharides which on hydrolysis afford non-carbohydrate. This is the important thing, which on hydrolysis affords a non-carbohydrate fragment which may be hydroxy compound or even nitrogen bases beside the carbohydrate fragment. Just see this reaction. C6H6O7 plus when this sugar molecule is hydrolyzed, we got glucose. Glucose is also known as glycon unit, and beside that glucose we got hydroquinone molecule. Hydroquinone is not a sugar molecule, that's why it is known as a glycon unit. Now please take the note, all mono and disaccharides are commonly referred as sugar because they possess sweet taste, while polysaccharides are considered as a non-sugar. Generally polysaccharides don't have sweet taste. Now we are going to see the reaction of glucose. As we know that glucose have one aldehydic group, glucose contain one CHO group and 5 hydroxy group. So glucose can give reaction of aldehydic group as well as hydroxyl group. So first of all we are going to see the reaction of aldehydic group. As we know that when aldehydic group is come in contact with hydroxylamine, so these two hydrogen and this oxygen going to be a form water molecule, and whole this NOH join on your this carbon. So that is we are going to form glucose oxime. Note that all the hydroxyl group are written with the red pen, which is same as it is in your product. It simply means that this is the reaction of your aldehydic group. If we add HCN, hydrogen cyanide, in your glucose molecule, so basically addition reaction taking place. This aldehydic group is converted into OH and CH is attached on this carbon. So it is glucose cyanohydrin compound is formed. Now just see here, when your glucose is treated with methyl sulfate in the presence of NaOH, all the hydrogen which are the part of your hydroxyl group are replaces by CH3 molecule. Just see here. So it is pentamethyl glucose, and this reaction is the reaction of your hydroxyl group. Your aldehydic group is as it is. If we add acetic anhydride in a glucose, so we got pentaacetyl glucose, means your hydrogen is replaced basically by C double bond O CH3. Since glucose have 5 hydroxyl group, so 5 COCH3 comes on your glucose molecule, and that's why it is known as pentaacetyl glucose. Now just see this reaction. It is the very interesting reaction. When glucose is treated with calcium hydroxide, we know that calcium hydroxide is base. We are basically going to be a form calcium glucosate, that is calcium salt of glucose. Now important thing is to be noted, it is the calcium salt of glucose and it is the base. Calcium hydroxide is the base. So we know that base forms salt with acid. So we can say that glucose behaves as a weak acid in the reaction. So glucose can be behaves as a weak acid. So now we are going to see reduction reaction. Since glucose contain aldehydic group, it can easily be reduced with the help of your mild reducing agent as well as strong reducing agent. When we use mild reducing agent, just like sodium amalgam, it is mild reducing agent. So this aldehydic group is reduces, aldehydic group simply reduces to alcoholic group, and we got sorbitol. Sorbitol is a very interesting compound because it has 6 hydroxyl group on each carbon atom. It has 6 carbon atom and each carbon possesses 1 hydroxyl group. if we use strong reducing agent just like HI with red phosphorus, so your glucose is reduces to N-hexane. All aldehydic group and hydroxyl group are reduced, and we got 6 number open chain carbon. So we got open chain compound containing 6 carbon atom, that is N-hexane. Glucose can easily be oxidized with the help of bromine water and other oxidizing reagent. So bromine water is a mild oxidizing agent. So what mild oxidizing agent does? They oxidize your this carbonyl group, aldehydic group, into acidic group. So we got gluconic acid. Just see here is aldehydic group, and that group is converted into basically carboxylic group. Students make a habit to see reaction only at their functionality. If we use dilute HNO3, that is a nitric acid, which is somewhat a strong oxidizing reagent as compared to your bromine water, so this primary alcoholic group is also get converted into acidic group along with your this aldehydic group. So just see here, your aldehydic group is also converted into COOH, and your primary alcoholic group is also converted into COOH. This is known as glucaric acid. If we use very strong oxidizing reagent just like concentrated HNO3, so this glucose molecule breaks down and we got oxalic acid. Since glucose have aldehydic group, so it can be acts as a reducing agent, and glucose can easily reduces your failing solution as well as Tollens reagent. Now what is a failing solution? Failing solution is an alkaline solution of copper sulfate with sodium potassium tartarate. So just see here this reaction. This is the glucose when it is reacted with copper dihydroxide in presence of sodium potassium tartarate. What we got, this group is basically oxidized. Aldehydic group is basically oxidized into COOH means, and we got Cu2O, which is precipitate in a red color, which have red precipitate plus water. Just see here, in this reaction the oxidation state of your copper is +2, while in Cu2O the oxidation state of copper is +1. It can happen by gaining 1 electron during your reaction. So gain of electron is basically known as reduction, and your glucose, in glucose your aldehydic group is converted into COOH group, so it is the oxidation, and this and gain of electron is reduction reaction. So in a same reaction, two types of phenomena goes on, that is oxidation and reduction. That's why it is known as redox reaction. So just see this, that is Tollens reagent test. What is Tollens reagent? Tollens reagent is ammonical silver nitrate solution. When glucose is reacted with silver hydroxide, so basically this aldehyde group is converted into COOH, silver is precipitated, and water goes as a byproduct. The oxidation state of silver in silver hydroxide is +1, while in the oxidation state of silver in silver is 0. This can be done by gaining 1 electron during the course of reaction. So gain of electron is reduction and addition of oxygen is known as oxidation. So it is also a redox reaction. When glucose is treated with phenylhydrazine, so what is the formula of phenylhydrazine? It is C6H5NH2. Important thing, it is 2 molecule of phenylhydrazine. So glucose is basically converted into oxazole. It simply means that this aldehyde group, the oxygen from the aldehyde group and 2 hydrogen from your phenylhydrazine, which are present on nitrogen, undergo condensation in first stage, and this attachment is taking on your carbon. In second step, this hydroxyl group is basically converted into carbonyl, and same type of reaction is going on. So in a next class we are going to see mechanism of oxazole formation. Thank you very much.